Well, good morning, everyone. And this was unexpected, very unexpected news that's came out within the last couple of minutes or so. We see the breaking news. Ruben Amorim has been sacked by Manchester United. We're going to get to more into that. We're going to delve more into that story as quickly as possible. We'll get good Man United fan Stefan, my co-host, on shortly as well. So that has been breaking news, and yeah, that is very surprising. I did not expect when I was just in my I was just literally just woken up. And to hear that breaking news is actually very surprising. It's not surprising, but not surprising. He's sacked after Man United draw yesterday against Leeds 1-1 as well. So yeah, there's so much stuff we're gonna get into, and let's say bring Stefan on. Stefan, good morning to you. How you doing?
Morning, Cal. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, let's give me your latest news. Give me your opinion on this sacking just happened from Old Trafford.
Well, like I said to you on the phone, I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. I think the writing's been on the wall for quite a long time with Ruben. Over his styles of play, over some of his comments. Yeah, Mr. Ratcliffe was backing him by saying he should be given his full 3 years, but obviously the comments made after yesterday's game about him being the manager and not a head coach and everyone else has to do their job has ultimately led to the downfall. But as I said, I think the writing's been on the wall for quite a long time. And
Yeah.
breaking news, Darren Fletcher is going to be taking charge for the Burnley game.
Absolutely. I've just got the statement here now from the club itself. Ruben Amorim has departed his role as head coach of Manchester United. Ruben was appointed in November 2024. He led the team to a UEFA Conference League final in Bilbao in May. With Manchester United sixth in the Premier League, the club's leadership reluctantly made a decision that it is the right time to make a change. This will give them the best opportunity of the highest possible Premier League finish. The club would like to thank Ruben for his contribution to the club and wishes well for the future. Like you said, Darren Fletcher will take charge of the team against Burnley on Wednesday. So, yeah, that is also been so much issues. And and like you said, how do we get here? So, I think Ruben Am's claim, has been remained ready to his three-man defense formation since he's arrived at Manchester United. But the Portuguese changed back to back for the back system. But also reports have been claimed that Christopher Vivell, the head of recruitment at United, called on Amorim to adapt his system following a detailed breakdown by Fulham boss Marcus Silva of his plan to counter it following the draw between the sides at Craven Cottage in August. Ruben, who was named as head coach when the club was announced, said there was been disagreements over the transfer targets, and hence those growing tensions with director of football Jason Wilcox were only getting stronger with the start of the January transfer window. So much, yeah. It's so much, like you said, it's just what's just happened. So much. And like I said, I'm only just literally woken up after and I'm now surprised this news came out, and I'm doing, and this is the second time in a 3-4 days.
In 5 days. This is the second time that we've been. Well, you and Reese talked about the Enzo Maresca departure / sacking from Chelsea. We don't know the ins and outs of that yet, but it was only even yesterday on the Championship review that we were talking about William Rosenior coming into Chelsea today, and then just after 10:10 this morning, boom, this big bombshell comes out. So I think the January transfer window is going to be a window for managerial departures, it looks like, at the minute, rather than players moving between clubs.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I don't know what Man United will do, who they're going to bring in. It's going to be a question of, I think Jamie O'Hara's said as Sky Sports News, I think he thinks that Amorim wanted the sack. Do you feel like he wanted to be sacked? Especially?
I I definitely feel like he wanted to be sacked. I feel like that he's been wanting to be sacked for a while now, with some of his comments saying, sometimes I wake up really wanting to be manager of Manchester United for 10, 20, 30 years. And other times I want to wake up and just leave the job and walk away. So that doesn't fill you with a great deal of confidence at the club. And I think the comments he made yesterday just put him over the top. But this where we are now has been coming for about since, I would say, even start of last season when he came in. There was just something not right about that appointment.
No.
That's what I was saying yesterday and on Saturday as well. You can go for a quick appointment, the cheapest appointment, but as we see, it doesn't work out at the big clubs.
No,
don't rush into making a managerial appointment just because you've got £8 million compensation to spend. Spend it wisely, get the right man in for the job, have a good working relationship with your manager, head coach, whatever, and then hopefully the club will be able to move forward in a more harmonious way. But I'm just worried now because who's going to want this job on a permanent basis? Because if you say or do something that's one step out of line, you're automatically in the firing zone.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I'm just seeing who looking at the odds. Looking at it here, the odds are favourite at the moment. Next manager odds is Oliver Glasner, who is 2-1. Michael Carrick 6-1. Former Man United player Laurent Blanc, who the former French national team, is 8-1, and then he's the third favourite. Then the fourth and fifth favourites are Gareth Southgate and Xavi, former Barcelona player. So. Stefan, who do you think will take over Manchester United now? And I know it's going to be a huge rebuild. And I was saying this a couple of months ago, maybe not to you, but I have a feeling this has got written Gareth Southgate all over because of this, he can work in a structure like that, and especially what he can do. I know his tactics is very pragmatic.
Well, but if I can just channel our colleague Reese for a moment, I know who Reese would want at Manchester United, but I don't think it's going to happen. Unfortunately, there is no way Julian Nagelsmann or even Hansi Flick would even walk into that job. There is just no way. So I think this is what's going to happen. It's going to be Fletcher maybe for 1 or 2 games. Then, as per with the previous appointments, there'll be an interim manager named until May, June time or whatever, until the season's finished. And then we'll go for a permanent manager. But I'm not sure about Southgate, to be totally honest. Yeah, I know what he done with the England setup and England structure.
Don't talk to me less about it, the better.
Over 8 years. But club football is vastly different from an international setup, because in the international setup, you're only seeing the players periodically when there's international breaks and camps and things. But in club management, you're seeing them every single day. And as I said, if you even dare step 1 foot out of line at a club like Man United, Chelsea, whatever, you're in the firing line. So I don't know if that would suit Gareth Southgate.
He's not managed a club since when he was at Middlesbrough, so that's how long it has been, for more than a decade, actually.
Exactly. So, yeah. Your other odds, Warren Blanc, I'm not too sure. I've not really seen his management style.
I think he's been out of the job for quite a while, and I just don't think he's the right man. For you guys, and because I think his last job, and I'm trying to remember where he was his last job,
I think it
because
was in France or maybe even Saudi Arabia somewhere. I don't
that's
know.
what I was thinking as well. It was like, yeah, I think his
I
last
don't
job,
know.
his last job was in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Al Ittihad not too long ago. So yeah, he just
And Ollie Glasner, that's an interesting one at 2-1. But we all know Oliver Glasner doesn't really have good working relationships with directors of football and directors in the background. Yes,
no.
he's doing a wonderful job at Crystal Palace despite their 2-0 defeat to Newcastle
And
yesterday.
I think if they can get the signings that they want, Palace, especially they got Brennan Johnson's first, I think there will be a chance he will extend his contract, but we don't know that for sure yet.
But Brendan Johnson is a done deal, by the way, just to let you know he's going to be wearing the number 11 shirt at
He did.
Palace.
He played yesterday, so
Yeah.
yeah. So that deal was done. So hopefully Glasgow may stay. But as I said, Stefan, I'm looking at here. The other odds would be saying Simone Inzaghi, who's in Saudi Arabia as well. After he left as well. So he signed and I can't see him getting, especially he's done a big contract in Saudi as well. Kieran McKenna is 6-1. This is some odds on from it's a big job for him. Pochettino's third favourite, Emery's fourth favourite.
Pochettino can't really see that because we all know what happened with Pochettino and Tottenham towards the end of his tenure.
Yeah, exactly.
He outspoke against the club and got unceremoniously let go. See, for managers going into clubs like Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, even Man City now, even Arsenal, you have to generally be yes man and conform to what the sporting directors want, what the owners want, what all the scouts and psychologists want to do. You're basically just a yes man in this job.
Pretty much it is actually a yes man.
If you're not a yes man, then you will. If you speak out like Amorim's done, there's only one option open to them, one road open to them, and that is to let the manager go. Now, do I agree with the way this has come about? No. I think it would have been a lot nicer and easier to do it in the course season. But you know what big clubs are like. As soon as somebody says something and they don't like it, you're out the door. Whether you part company or whether you get sacked like Amorim's done, you're out the door. But as in for Man U's next manager, who'd want to take that on? Let's be honest. It's a tough job.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
Tough job.
It is.
Unless you've got the mentality of your inner Sir Alex Ferguson, who'd want to take that on?
Yeah, it is. It's a huge it's questionable, and even like I said, the manager is probably available. And I hate to say this because Chelsea just sacked him. Would you take Enzo Maresca?
I mean, maybe as an interim appointment, but I don't think his style of football, and I could be totally wrong, but it would have been good to get Reese's opinion on this as well, but he's probably sweeping.
He's probably at work today, so
probably at work or sweeping. So yeah, one of the few.
I will more be working. He's always working on Monday, so yeah.
But no, I mean it could be wrong, and Enzo Maresca could be the perfect fit for Manchester United. But solely for me, that's in hindsight. I think it needs to be somebody with a lot of managerial experience behind them. By that I mean managing like 4, 5, 6 clubs before coming into this job, has a good understanding of the English game.
I don't think that matters anymore in the English game now. I don't think it matters anymore in some ways because I think it's changed a lot from how we grew up, especially. I think the problem is, you just think
All right, man, I get that point, but has a good understanding of the club that you're about to take on, about to go into. At least know a little bit of
Yeah,
history. No, I'm not saying the whole entire 100 and whatever years it is of the club, but at least know a little bit about the club you're going to take on. And there you go. Ruben Amorim was only in charge 14 months. I thought it was longer than that, but to my surprise, it was 14 months. Met with Jason Wilcox and Omar Barda this morning, who told him he was relieved of his duties. So it wasn't even the Glaziers that told him he was relieved of his duties. It was the Glaziers' yes man, Baba and Wilcox.
actually, I think it's more those appointments. Well, is more in your stand. The Glazers, actually, with Jim Radcliffe, so Omar Bereda, who was I'm just were both former Man City employees, so they do have that link of like Maresca, because both them three have been together when Maresca was part of the coaching staff with Pep at Man City. So,
all right, here's one for you. If he was, well, I think he's available, and if he wanted the job on an interim basis, you're going on about Man City. Now, what about Mancini?
I think listen. I think that will turn heads completely. I think he's lost his depth completely, and I think Mancini, I wouldn't touch him, especially he hasn't been managing as much for quite a while. I mean, club wise, not been managing for club wise for quite a while, and I can't see that happening. I can't see. I could in the millions. I don't see that will ever happen. I think he's coaching in Qatar, so yeah.
What about Eddie Howe then?
Again, I think yes.
Not being funny. He was tipped for the Celtic job. He was in the running for the Celtic job before Wilfred got it. So
I think this is what I feel at the moment. I feel by the summer, after the summer, I think he will be the next manager of England. I think I have a feeling that.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that. I'll give you that. A lot of people are saying that. But I think even maybe in the interim appointment, that would be good. I mean, I know we'd have to pay Newcastle compensation coming out of the ears, but he's proven himself at Newcastle. This is the thing. Eddie Howe's proven himself at Newcastle. He's proven himself at Bournemouth before he went to Newcastle. And he's just been doing great. He's been doing fantastic.
Yeah, of course. He's been great. It's the problem is, why do Man United want to pay again for another conversation for another manager? That's something they need to really think about, because they tried it with Amorim to pay nearly £10 million of compensation to Sporting just 40 months ago, and look how that's panned out. And I don't think they want to go through the scenario again, because So I like some people saying in the group chat, which I'll get into as well, and even Michael Brown was saying, given last season the way they was doing better than the last season, but as I said, that it tells you that all world's not behind the scene, which is true. And it's just, I just don't know, the hierarchy, like I said, Michael Brown's made a good point. The hierarchy would take a dim view of what we've seen at Chelsea, Forest, and United, as the press will make it a football headline, the growth which the clubs will find difficult to defend, which I think he's right about that. And, listen, and I want to drink from your wide eye. It's got to be. It feels like it could feel like that could happen, because Maresca is now a free agent. So what does that tell you? Because in a way, the last 5 days, it's been extraordinary, because we didn't expect to have a manager sacked on New Year's Day ever. And now we have got a manager sacked 5 days after from two big clubs. Is that a coincidence?
I would say is it a coincidence? That's the question we've got to ask. I just don't know. is the honest answer. Quite a lot of the answers I'm going to give today will end in I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen next. Chelsea's more of a clear situation, obviously, because we've got the senior coming in this afternoon, so that's more of a clear situation. But certainly with the Man U one, I have no idea what is going to happen next. Like a lot of us out here, I just have no idea. I mean, this, as I said right at the start, it's a surprise, but it's not a surprise. And I think for a lot of Man U fans, certainly it won't be a surprise that he's been sacked, because I think a lot of Man U fans, certainly in 2024, were calling for his head pretty much after about 6 games in to his tenure. I mean, losing to teams like Grimsby in the Carabao Cup. Grimsby, with all due respect, big Premier League teams should, if you play a full strength team, you should be steamrolling teams like Grimsby.
Well,
But
you say that, but
you say that, but on the night, Grimsby were fantastic, take nothing away from them. But that was a clear sign that the tactics were just wrong. He had his little Wilfred Nancy tactics board at the side of the pitch. He was you could actually see him making it up on the TV as he was going along. He had no idea how to play that game. No idea how to deal with EFL League Two side who on their day were absolutely fantastic. But ultimately, that was part of the downfall. If he wasn't so outspoken, would he still be in the job? I'm not so sure, but certainly if he wasn't so outspoken, it would probably have given them more of a chance to hold on, certainly until the end of the January transfer window.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we'll probably stay on for another couple of minutes anyway. We'll still get some more news and reaction as well coming to the sacking as well. So, as I said, let's see. You know, this is what his coach said yesterday after the 1-1 draw against Leeds yesterday. He came. He said, I just want to say I came here to be the manager, not the coach.
Yeah.
In every department, the scouting department, the sporting director, they need to do their jobs. I will do mine for 18 months and then we'll move on. I just want to say that I am going to be manager of this team, not just a coach. I was really clear on that this was going to finish in 18 months and then everyone move on. That was a deal. That is my job, not to be a coach.
Mm-hmm. And those comments are actually quite, they're not scathing, but they're quite in-your-face comments to the club, because the club are obviously wanting him to be a head coach and not the manager, and he's wanting to be a manager and not the head coach. So you're hitting your head off the old proverbial brick wall, and something's got to give with those comments, and ultimately it's cost him his job.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Michael, I can't see Zinedine Zidane. I think Zinedine Zidane is going to be straight on the French national team coach after the World Cup. That deal's kind of done in a way. It's virtually done because Didier Deschamps leaving. Joachim Low has been lit with so many jobs since he left Germany. I think he's
not taking any job, to be fair. Joachim Low, he stayed out and
he stayed out for a while. Mitra Sarri did not work at Chelsea after all the controversy with that.
No. Good God, no! I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. That's the only one I would say.
Allegri, he's back at AC Milan and they're really fighting for the title this season. Marco Rose, that's something. He's a free agent. He was linked to Leeds a couple of weeks ago. If Farke got sacked, and Xavi, yeah, that's no question. But they would not go back to 10. You would not go back to 10 hard.
Good God, no! He was the reason why we got Amorim in the first place. Because, again, when Man United sacked Ten Hag, they just went out. We made a panic buy in the form of Ruben. After 14 months, it's clearly not worked. The board has actually finally seen a bit of sense, got rid of him, even though it's not been in the most harmonious of circumstances due to his comments yesterday. But see, I think for managers, that's sometimes the downfall of being so outspoken. I mean, look at Ange Postecoglou in Tottenham, for example. He was very outspoken against the club towards the end, and it cost him his job. And admittedly, a few months later, it cost Daniel Levy his job as well. But or he stepped down rather, Daniel Levy, because of that. I mean,
well, he got forced to step down. It wasn't just
No, it's showing on Sky Sports now. The clip of Ruben out with his tactics board at Grimsby just showed that 2 seconds ago. But I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. As in for the next manager, we all know it's going to be an interim appointment, probably until the end of the season. I'm 99% sure on that. Who it's going to be, I don't know. Will it be a big name just to bring in for a few months until the end of the season? Probably not a very, very big name, because in the end of the season, we'll want to go out and scout and get somebody with more experience of a big club, as in for who's going to take on the interimship.
Yeah, I know, Michael. I do understand those names could be tempted, but the problem is what the name.
You're midway through a season as well. You're midway through a season. Who's going to leave a club, let's say, for example, top of the table in Serie A, to come and manage for the best part of 4 months and then go away again?
Well, not interim, probably permanent. Like Allegri, you can't. You're not. I just don't.
He would probably be a permanent buy, but would he be tempted to work in this
environment? No.
Environment in a club? No. Would Zidane be tempted to work in this environment? No. We've already said he's going to the French shop. Would, I don't know, Inzaghi be tempted to work in this environment?
He's doing a good job in Saudi. They're top of the table at the moment.
Probably not, because he's doing a good job in the King's country of Saudi. So you're a bit stuck, as it were, for managerial appointments mid-season. Actually, you're a bit stuck because all the good managers are either pundits for their own countries in football terms, or they're all in good jobs and won't want to leave.
Yeah, Michael, I will disagree on this one. Yes, it's a pro league, but it's not the best league in the world.
The best league, in my opinion, and this is probably going to be so controversial because of all the rights and things behind the country, but the best league right now, by far, for spending big money, is Saudi Arabia.
I know. The Premier is the money with the money because of the TV rights. That's different. What I meant in the stat is like
the league.
Yeah, like the league. It's not about the media. It's more like that the league and all the play, like the physical play, like what we spoke about recently every week about the technicalities of why Italian football is slowly coming back. Like Serie A is kind of trying to get back. Bundesliga and La Liga are probably the best. Best leagues of the technicality of that's what I meant on the status, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will make a difference.
No,
Garden, if it's a Zidane or Allegri, I can't see it come to the Premier League because, especially when they come to the Premier League, they're gonna be on. They're gonna have a target on their back from day one in the British media.
Maybe 10 or 20 years ago, you could easily say the Premier League was the best league in the world because it was. It was a fresh new league, 20, 30 years ago, coming in with the TV right with Sky. But over time, other leagues have sort of taken that title away in terms of not TV rights, but playing styles of football. You've got the Saudi Arabian League, you've got
That's still a long way with the Saudi Arabia until
yeah.
they match up. They're still a long way. I don't think we need to compare with them. I think it's more comparing the leagues in Europe that we play regularly. Yeah.
Okay, so you've got Bundesliga, you've got Liga, and you've got Serie A, even Serie B appears as well.
Yeah, and even the main competitors is La Liga because so
La Liga, the Copa del Rey, you've got all that going on, and it's those leagues are more what's the word I'm looking for here to sum it up? They're more the style of play, the flair on show, and those leagues combined with take the Premier League at the equation, but those leagues combined for flair, creativity,
and also very good youth prospects as well. More than
player movement between clubs through the academies, it just tops the Premier League in my opinion. Yes, the Premier League is a good league to watch. However, in terms of flair play, not really anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Doug. Yeah,
Morning, Doug.
This hits the nail on the head. I don't know if you agree with this, Stefan. Jason Wilcox and Omar Bereda need to go as well. They're at fault too. Some of the decisions Ineos have been extremely baffling. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but at the end of the day, you're a fan of a club, but you don't really know the ins and outs of the club unless you work behind the scenes. Now, this is the first time that I've heard Wilcox and Baba being mentioned in the media since we took over. The main man that's been mentioned in the media for Ineos is Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and quite rightly so because he owns a company. But you could say that they need to go, but then could you argue that it's a Ineos fault as well, and maybe Jim Ratcliffe needs to say, well, I got the let's just say the tenure of Amorim wrong. He was all forgiven him for the years. Don't forget, just a few months ago, Jim Ratcliffe put his arm around him after they lost the Carabao Cup, and he put his arm around him and says, "I'm going to give you 3 years." Now, and then today he's let go. Now I don't know if Jim's had a huge say in that decision or no say at all. But it would certainly be interesting to find out because I don't like the fact that Manu's got about 3 or 4 sporting directors, well, a bit like Chelsea now, that make all these decisions. I preferred it when it was just chairman versus manager, and one was going to go, whether it was the chairman or the manager. Bring football back to those days. Yes, it's good. It's good to see the money being pumped into clubs, but if you've got too many heads at the top table, then surely things can become fracas and clouded and fallouts with all these people, and then the ultimate one it falls on is the fans.
Well, I agree with you about should it go, but what I'm going to bring, I'll bring the context. If it's the chairman who's like the owner of the club and doesn't know the club or the game of football, then you question. I think you need to bring the people that knows the knowledge of the game behind the scenes. That's something I don't think Jim Ratcliffe has, because the problem is that's why he's brought in 2 high profile names such as Jason Wilcox, who was part of Man City in director, not the director football director in the youth development, and Omar Bereda, who was the CEO of under Tiki Bergestein and Ferran Serrero. So so I get what you're saying. It shouldn't go back, but I think the football's so much changed now. I just don't think it's back. So
100%. I'll give you that one. It has changed from 10, 20, 30 years ago. But you think if you were buying the club 10, 20, 30 years ago, the person buying the club would have done their due diligence on the club. They know a bit about it because more than likely it would be a fan consortium or a fan coming in to take over the club, whether it be a big celebrity fan or a group of fans getting together. But I think now, chairman of football clubs you've just said, Carl, they don't really know the club inside out because they're not doing the day-to-day running behind the scenes. They're employing teams of people to do the day-to-day running behind the scenes. And you're probably lucky if we get reported back to every 6 months on a platform, maybe even like this or Zoom or Teams or something, because they're maybe not even in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just looked on the Athletics. So this decision was taken in conjunction with the Glazer family. So the Glazer family will have some involvement in this, who owns majority United States. So I think so. This was more of a not just the Ineos decision. This was more a joint, between both the Glazers and Ineos altogether. So I just think now for the Athletic, as I said. There was Athletic recently also reported on this a while back. Reported that Jason Wilcox has reservations that a back three would work at Man United.
Yeah,
and so that was the issue that despite the emotional outburst, but Ratcliffe, Bereda, and Rickles continue to support Amorim. So it's just So pretty much, I think.
Ever since the Glazers bought the club back in whenever it was, we've had more managerial departures under the Glazers than the previous ownership that ran Manchester United before.
Which was on the stock exchange, and it was JP McManus, before. But like I say, you didn't have more than managers because you still had Fergie until 2013 till he retired. You've had more than 7-8 managers over that course. So
Ruben Saka will be our 9th managerial departure.
Yeah, jeez. I'm just about to look at how the sack is now. I'm just going back to it now. So
Stevie Moyes, he was the chosen one to take over from Sir Alex.
Yeah.
I felt sorry for Bill Kenwright at Everton because he was crying when Davy Moyes got approached from him. Man,
I think this was coming for quite a long time. It was quite coming for a long time because everyone knew. So So Ruben Amorim was the 6th permanent head manager since Ferguson's retirement. So David Moyes, like I said, for July 2013, April 2014. Ryan Giggs was the interim for the rest of that season. Louis Van Gaal from 2014 to 2016. Jose Mourinho from 2016 to 2018. Ollie comes in. He was the longest one out of it to stay for 3 years, from December 2018 to November 2021. Then you had Michael Carrick interim and Ralph Ryan interim after that. Eric Ten Hag, who was there from May 2022 to October. Ruben Amorim interim, and now Amorim. So in total, this is 1, 2, 3, 10 managers you've had since.
I wasn't far off at all with 9 then.
So you've had 10 managers, including interim managers.
That is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think now, it's gonna be more. There'll be more to this, Stefan. Don't trust me, and we know about what David Orsi's reported out as well, and also we know that Laurie Whitwell, who knows the stuff at Man United, I'm not, this has been questioned several points in his tenure, and especially Jim Ratcliffe did the podcast a couple months ago that he was going to give Amorim a free extension.
Oh, yeah. And something's definitely going on behind the scenes. It can't be just because of the comments yesterday. Yes, they probably played a part in it, but something has definitely gone on in the background, whether it be over the last few weeks or months or whatever. But something's definitely gone on. And as you say, Carl, it'll all come out in the wash very, very soon.
It will do. It will do. It'll come out a bit more, and then we'll probably get a bit more over the next couple of hours, and even the day this week as well. So
Yeah.
I think it will be more to discuss probably this week on the Saturday show in depth as well. So
yeah, if Ruben makes a statement through the LMA, that's going to be very interesting.
I don't think he will. I think Enzo's not done that yet, and I don't think he will. I don't know if Ruben will.
See, if a manager gets sacked, you have a certain amount of time to make your statements through the LMA.
You should, yeah. I would have thought so too. If we get that statement, I will put up on the post as well. I will get that up. If that happens, it happens. Yeah.
Because if he does make that statement, I would imagine he's not going to hold back on the punches.
No, I don't think he will. And do you know what? Do you know what the wee thing is? That could happen. And I hate to say this. I think he'll go back. I think we could go back to
Portugal.
Yeah, I think personally, I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he'll go back to Sporting. I know Sporting has done well under bringing in Rui Boris, who's coaching him at the moment from Victoria Guimarães, who did win the title last season under them, but they're second at the moment in Portugal, Sporting. So,
What's Bielsa up to these days, Carl?
He's still at Uruguay. He's coaching throughout the national team throughout the World Cup. So yeah.
So he's at the equation as well, because I could have, if he was available, I could have seen him come in to do an interim task.
Yeah, I don't think that will work well with Leeds fans with that, mate. How Bielsa's been loved by a god in the city of Leeds, and there is at some point there was going to be a statue. So yeah.
I mean, at the moment, it's all just speculation. Yeah, we're throwing names out there, but at the end of the day, we're not picking who's going to be an interim charge or permanent charge or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's true. I understand. I know we're picking up names, but yeah, Bielsa. No, you're gonna see a lot of Leeds fans revolt, mate. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. You think you know us? We will cause chaos if that happens in Manchester. So yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what, Stefan? We'll finish it off anyway because we have been on 43 minutes. I think we'll get some more. And actually, Doug, I'm able to record tonight anyway for the 20th, so I should be able to do that with you to talk some games over this week as well. So, no, I appreciate that. So, but Stefan, thank you for joining us.
Nobody's coming.
And yeah, if you're just walking up or just finding out that the breaking news that Ruben Amorim has been sacked by Man United after being in 40 months in charge, after a bit of dismal, after he came finishing 15th last season in the Premier League, and actually his final game was one more draw in the derby yesterday against Leeds yesterday as well. So yes, Ruben Amorim sacked. But thank you for anyone who's been watching us. Please subscribe to our channel subscribe to the channel as well, and keep an eye on more informed stuff coming up. And yeah, we'll talk more in depth about this about Ruben Amorim on the Saturday show at 11 a.m. as well. So like I said. Yeah, yeah, it's a shock. It's a shock, but not surprise. But thank you everyone for watching us, and we'll catch you guys soon during the week. Have a good week, and take care.
You too.